that it's sometimey with the 10th planet, but don't we have 9 planets? So when you think about 9 brains to experiment on and incept and create, when I say incept, I mean literally having the technology to insert yourself inside of the mind of an octopus to create the very first artificial simulation. You got to start with a mind that is big enough, a big enough mainframe to replicate and duplicate. So the very first sacrifice was Mother Octopus. And it's a feminine, it's always a feminine mind. So bear with me here because I'm really trying to process all of this. So you do that and you capture, you can't get enough. So you capture all of these aquatic beings. You find a way to get through. Create this simulation that you need, insert yourself, traveling by ship. Insert yourself into this reality that you've created, gather your peoples, make an exodus into the mind or the mainframe created, while this planet is left to kind of like disintegrate or destroy, kind of like, just be left for dead. So you insert yourself, and what you do is, because you're always going to need organic solar level consciousness, what are you going to do? You're going to take other solar beings, right? You being one of them, the first collective doing this, kind of colonizing the mind of an aquatic being. So you bring your crews with you. So you have a bunch of solar beings in a world full of Sims. The first simulation. Because you can now copy and replicate whatever image, and create these characters and these people, these NPC-like beings inside of the artificial simulation. And you can insert yourself as a solar being or solar consciousness and insert yourself, and you're very much aware of the simulation, while the Sims or the NPC level beings who are there to kind of fill up the space, they're kind of acting as fillers or background people in the world. They don't know. They have no idea who they are, where they come from. And they kind of have like this whole sequence and setup of their own history that came from absolutely nowhere. They have no idea that their world was simulated artificially. So you do that one time, and over the sequence of time within these constructs, you keep tampering with shit, you keep experimenting with things, you overdo it with the experimentation on the solar beings, you're specifically mating certain solars with other solars to create new solars to keep them entrapped, imprisoned, and do more things with the energy and all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to get into those details. Again, I'm still, processing stuff. So now we're here. I don't know what Earth this is. There's a lot of Earths, a lot of simulated aspects of what we call this reality. The thing is, the mainframe of Earth is still connected to the very original essence of this aquatic being. So it's almost like let's just say there was a person, and they experiments on this person. They experimented on the person's brain and their mind and their dream state, studying the dreams, studying the mind. And they were able to create another mainframe, develop a mainframe from the mind of this being. Now what they have is an artificial mainframe or mind or construct or matrix that is now separated from the being itself. So I don't know if some of you guys saw the first Black Mirror episode with Miley Cyrus. Some people say it was a horrible episode. But they basically took her consciousness, put it into AI, and that AI became conscious within itself, but she didn't recognize Miley as her. They were separate entities. One was artificial intelligence who started to become aware of herself, and one was the organic portal who was already aware. And now they see each other face to face and they see themselves as separate. That's kind of like, so when we talk about, when we go into these mythologies and we're talking about Gaia and Sophia and these goddesses, right? And we're talking about Mother Earth. What I sense that we are talking about, what we're referring to, we don't realize that there's a mainframe version of Gaia, or whatever name you want to use, and then there's a organic version of her that is no longer really truly connected, because Gaia has already awakened and senses herself. So you can kind of say that she's like this artificial mainframe that we're in sees herself as the child possibly of herself. Maybe we can take the story of Tiamat, the planet that was destroyed, blown into pieces, and a piece of that was formed into Earth. You can look at these mythologies and kind of, it still matches up with the stuff that I am expressing here. You know, a piece of Tiamat turned into Earth. It kind of sounds like an organic being was used and eventually killed, because once you use that mind of a person, that organic being doesn't have hold of its own mind anymore. It's incepted completely. Even if this being is kept alive on a machine, right? It's still in a coma. It's in a comatose state. So she might as well be dead. But what is happening is that part of her is living inside of her dream. And that part of her is the mainframe of an artificial world. That is how I'm seeing Earth, Gaia,